morning to all our Sports Today family members. And the world of cricket, if you see, has been thrown into chaos because of only one particular entity, and that is Pakistan. Pakistan have made it a point that they would want to delay, stall, and indulge in tit for tat tactics for a very long time now. Because look, when India made an objection about the BCC, about the Asia Cup hybrid model as well as the scheduling, Pakistan had to respond back with the World Cup stalling. Now, according to latest reports, this is very important. According to latest reports, the BCCI and the ICC are all set to announce the official World Cup schedule on June 27th. That is the date where the ICC are going to officially announce the World Cup schedule. June 27th means you just have 100 days to prepare the logistics, to prepare the ticketing, to prepare all the itineraries and every single thing. 100 days. That's it. This is what the chaos has resulted in. Because Pakistan made two requests. One, change the venues for the Afghanistan game and the Australia game. Australia and Pakistan was supposed to happen in Bangalore. Pakistan, Afghanistan would have happened in Chennai. They wanted a swap of the venues. That has been rejected. Now, because of this latest standoff that the PCB now have indulged in, with the chairman-elect Zaka Ashraf saying that he vehemently opposes the hybrid model, is the June 27th date also going to be complied with? Because remember, you only have 4 months. That's about it. 4 months remaining for the World Cup to begin. June is done. You only have July, August, September and October. 4 months. In this period, are you going to ensure that the World Cup schedule will be announced, the stadiums, the outfields, everything will be revamped, and also the infrastructure will be boosted, the ticketing will be done? It will be a logistical nightmare. For the first time in a very long time, the World Cup schedule announcement has had much more eyeballs than the actual World Cup itself. Because look at it this way, 2019, 2015, 2011, even at that time, you had announced the World Cup schedule 6 to 8 months prior. It gave you time. It gave you lots of time to revamp the stadiums, gave you a lot of time to relay the outfields. And remember, the relaying of the outfields and the relaying of most of the pitches is going to be done around July, August. Most of the stadiums, they've already started work on it. But the crux of the work will be done in this period when it's monsoon. Now, how will that happen? And see, if you announce it on June 27th, the schedule, what is going to happen? There is going to be a frenzy for ticketing. There is going to be a lot of chaos. But the Indian fans and all the Indian administrators will not want to bother about it, because no one is going to speak against the BCCI on this particular issue. So, June 27th is the date where the BCCI are going to, and the ICC will announce the World Cup schedule. That is the tentative date that has been set aside. June 27th means 100 days to go for the World Cup, approximately. Now, what is the main factor behind this delay? One of the main factors, it's Pakistan. Pakistan have made it a point, as I mentioned, tit for tat tactics, which they are going to employ. All the stalling is all because they want to get back at the BCCI for what they did with the Asia Cup scheduling. Now, Zaka Ashraf, who's now the current chairman-elect of the PCB, now he threw a bombshell yesterday by saying that we are opposing the hybrid model. We are not going to host the Asia Cup in this way. Now, this means that now there is new chaos in the Asia Cup at this point in time. We all thought that Najam Sethi and the ACC's approval meant that fine, it's all done and dusted. But suddenly now, with the reign of power changing in the Pakistan Cricket Board, now what next? Is the Asia Cup again going to happen in August, September? Because if Pakistan vehemently deny the hybrid model, India will not go to Pakistan. Then how will the Asia Cup be managed? Either Five Nations tournament, Pakistan play a different tournament, India plays a different tournament in that August-September window. Because after that, you only have the three ODIs against Australia, and then you have the World Cup, which is beginning around October first week. So it is not going to be a very, very simple task. Pakistan suddenly shooting from the mouth that, okay, we are not believing in the hybrid model. Vehemently, they were opposing it. Now, this double speak has ensured that the Asia Cup is in further chaos. Whether it will be held in the hybrid model now, that is very doubtful. Whether it will be held at all, that is an even bigger question. So, Pakistan, as always, the center point when it comes to a lot of problems, especially in cricket. You can say that the Asia Cup situation and the World Cup schedule, this was bound to happen. Why is that? Because of the diplomatic and bilateral tensions that exist between India and Pakistan. Remember, it was even reflected in the SAF tournament that happened yesterday, India versus Pakistan. You have to understand that Pakistan, because the visa procedures became so long, they had to take a flight via Mauritius and then to Mumbai and then to Bengaluru. They had to arrive in batches of 3 each. They just arrived 6 hours prior to the match. And credit to the Pakistan team that they managed to take the field. And although they lost 4-0 to India, it highlights one of the problems that's going to happen. Pakistan, whether they will come to India, if the World Cup participation is also in jeopardy, that is going to be seen now. Because unprecedented, for the first time in a very long time, the schedule is going to be announced 4 months before the start of the tournament. How are you going to now ensure that everything is smooth, everything is logistically managed, and that there is no chaos? This is the problem. India versus Pakistan bilateral tensions is hurting cricket, and because of that now your World Cup and Asia Cup are in total chaos. So we have to say thank you to both the Pakistan and the Indian cricket boards for ensuring that the chaos remains. We have to also thank all the entities for ensuring that the chaos remains. So it's a really, really bad situation at this point in time. Whether the World Cup schedule will be announced on June 27th, it remains to be seen now, but it is a real big problem. And if even the June 27th date is not adhered to, then we are going to see a lot of questions on the World Cup. Because Pakistan have dug in their heels, they want to ensure that chaos happens, and because of that, how will the Indian board react? That is the latest situation. How will the ICC react now? That remains to be seen. So, cricket is in chaos when you look at it for the World Cup and the Asia Cup. Whereas on the other hand, you look at the World Cup qualifiers, it is throwing out gems every single time. The USA are putting up a fight. Nepal tried their best, but unfortunately, Zimbabwe, West Indies, they put up a great show. And if you look at the World Cup qualifiers, West Indies, Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka have all started well. Ireland, on the other hand, look to be in danger of not qualifying for the World Cup because they have lost 2 games, one to Oman and one to Scotland. So that's why it's a very, very tough situation. Remember, whoever top 3 finishes in each of the group, they play in the Super 6. Whoever wins in the Super 6, the top 2, they go to the final, and those 2 teams enter the final, become the 9th and the 10th team in the World Cup. So this is how this format is of this ICC World Cup qualifiers. Remember, this group stage will be done. Top 3 of each group qualify for the Super 6. Whoever tops the Super 6, the top 2 teams, they reach the final. They will be the 9th and the 10th team in the ICC World Cup of 2023. Whether that will happen in the long run, that remains to be seen. June 27th is the next big date. Now, as I had mentioned, India versus Pakistan, the chaos that is there in cricket, the chaos was also there even in the football match. The SAF Cup saw Sunil Chhetri score a hat-trick, and because of that, he's now 10 away from 100 international goals. Even at this age, Super Sunil continues to ensure that he is a gold standard when it comes to Indian football. A 4-0 win over Pakistan at the Kantivira Stadium in Bangalore ensured that India started the tournament as they were. They were the favourites. Credit to Pakistan though, they managed to come 6 hours prior to the match. They were fatigued, but then that was not an excuse for their 4-0 loss. Even the Pakistan team admitted that this is not a factor, but yes, we were totally outplayed. However, there was one particular incident that happened during the match, and that was Igor Stimac and the rest of the Pakistan players, there was a big confrontation. Stimac was given the red card, and because of that, Mahesh Gavli, the assistant coach, he was there at that point and he guided the team together. Now, the confrontation that Stimac had and the Pakistan players had, it was over a throw-in, and it is claimed that the Pakistan players pushed Stimac, but Stimac then retaliated, and that is the reason why he was given the marching orders, he was given the red card. Mahesh Gavli said maybe it is the coach's fault, but the Pakistan players had also provoked, and that's why India, who are like, the win was kind of soured by Stimac sending off. So that's why not a good sign indeed. But yes, 4-0, Pakistan once again getting decimated at the hands of India. This SAF Cup is going to be very important if you look at India's preparation for the AFC Asia Cup, because remember, in January 2024, the AFC Asia Cup is going to be held in Qatar, and India will need all the international preparedness to ensure that they put on a good show at that venue. So, India versus Pakistan in the SAF Cup, the Stimac send-off, the red card was a sour point in what was a dominant display. Sunil Chhetri scoring a magnificent hat-trick, 90 goals now. He needs 10 more to get to 100 international goals. He'll be the only Indian to do that. Only the fourth in the history of football to get to the magical landmark of 100 international goals after Ronaldo, Ali Day, Lionel Messi, and let's hope he's anyway fourth on the list behind Messi with 13 international. He's 13 behind Lionel Messi at this point. Now about the Wrestling Federation of India, and we were initially expecting that the elections would be held in July first week. Now it has been postponed to July 11th. The Wrestling Federation of India, the election dates, which was supposed to happen in first week of July, it has now been postponed to July 11th. There are a multiple of reasons given behind that, and I will be doing a special video on that, so stay tuned for that. The biggest update is July 11th is the next date for the WFI elections. Remember, they had to hold elections within a 45-day period, failing which the UWW could have suspended the WFI from international competition, which means that unfortunately the wrestlers won't be able to compete under the Indian flag. They would have to compete under a neutral flag. Now, some of the wrestlers who are part of the protest, they are wanting training in the US at this time. So the participation for the training in the US, remember, they have to now play in the Worlds in order to qualify for the Olympics in Paris. Whether that will happen, that is the next biggest update that we are monitoring at this point. Now, when we look at the world of tennis, Rohan Bopanna, one of the last remaining legends in this field, he wants to end his international career in the Davis Cup encounter that will be held in September, and he probably wants to end it in Bengaluru in front of his home fans. With Rohan Bopanna's retirement, the glorious chapter of Indian tennis is now shut, because Mahesh Bhupati, Leander Paes, Sania Mirza, Rohan Bopanna, all these four individuals, they had redefined the way tennis was being played in India. And with Bopanna's retirement in September, it is a big blow for Indian tennis. One hopes that the Indian contingent, the youngsters like Ankita Raina, Karman Kaur Thandi, all the others, they step up and ensure Indian tennis is carried forward in the next big way. So there is a lot of other updates in the world of international football also, because Germany were shocked by Colombia, and Portugal managed to ensure that Cristiano Ronaldo managed to have a magnificent 200 game as they got off to a winning start. But Germany's loss to Colombia was indeed a danger sign that Hansi Flick is now on very thin ice as far as his coaching tenure is concerned. Will he be able to coach the German team for the 2026 World Cup? Looking at the results that are there, it seems highly unlikely indeed. So Germany's loss and Brazil also losing in their international friendly means that the balance in world football is shifting slightly to the other nations. Portugal winning, Colombia beating Germany, and also Brazil losing 2-4. Big signs for the glorious powers that are in football. So it's a big loss indeed for all the major established footballing nations. We'll be doing a special video on all of that. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this edition of the Morning Wrap. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Thank you.